Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Horror, the podcast. I'm your host, Kevin L. Powers. I'm also the owner operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Events, and I want to welcome you to our podcast today. Now, what we do on our program is I take an individual horror film from many different subgenres and decades, and I bring on a special guest where we talk about the film, have a conversation, kind of get into what makes this film a great or not so great horror film that that needs to be talked about. Now, we've done a lot of great episodes over the last couple of years of some varying degrees of films, sequels, and everything in between. And I'm a little proud to say that today's podcast is the final film in the original Universal Monster series of The Mummy, and it's The Mummy's Curse from 1944. But it's the last one because we've been slowly going through each one of the films in this franchise. So if you have not listened to the previous episodes, please make sure to do so at your leisure because you will have a good time listening to us talk about the film, regardless of what you think the quality of that particular film is. That being said, I do want to bring on my special guest for today's episode, and I want to bring on Mr. John Conkle and Mr. Dave Watkins, who actually were here for the last film as well. Thank you both for joining us today.
All right. Boom, bam.
We'll be talking about the Mummy again for the fifth time.
I think it's me and you, Dave, have gone through like the entire franchise, and Conkle, you just joined us not too long ago.
Right. This is the third one he's done. He missed. Yeah. We're really like with these. There's 5 total, but with these, there's only 4 with this Karras mummy. The first one's a completely different mummy, but
it's a totally different kind of monster. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. No, this journey has made me very into mummy movies. We probably mentioned this off the show and everything, but I've been like really hyping. This series has made me want to go back and revisit the ones from the 90s and go and basically watch anything I can find with a mummy in it, and I'm pretty hyped about this new one,
Lee Cronin's.
Yeah, Lee Cronin's mummy movie coming out. I mean, I wouldn't have cared a while back ago, but after watching all these Universal ones, I'm like, I kind of got mummy fever now, so it's good stuff.
Yeah. So this movie's 81 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. We were going to shoot it. We were going to shoot this podcast originally on December 22nd, which
holy cow
would have been exactly 81 years to the day. Wow. But we almost did it exactly on the day, but no.
Yeah. Well, December and holidays kind of changed this around a little bit. So
yeah,
but it's okay.
Yeah, the movie that came out before this one that we recently covered, the Ghost, was a Ghost of the Mummy or the Mummy's Ghost. That one was released June 30th of 1944. So this one wasn't too much. This was like they were like throwing these things out. It was like June and then December.
Oh, so the same year?
Yeah, the same year. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Mummy movies were the Saw movies of its time. Just pow, pow, pow.
And plus what we talked about before, these were shot during
World War II.
World War II, yeah. So there's that going on with it.
Well, keep in mind that during World War II, people loved watching these type of films. Which is probably why they're so popular, because they kind of divorced them from the real world atrocities going on at the time. So
yeah, well, I mean, that's what I got so much out of these movies. I mean, not this one so much.
But they definitely backed off the propaganda a little bit. Yeah. One, so
I really enjoyed recontextualizing them and for like with modern eyes and kind of seeing like how things change and how things stay the same. The more things change, the more things stay the same. And, it was very, very interesting. Very interesting. And I love the propaganda stuff and the last one,
It's funny that you love it because that's like, I think it's funny because it's so obvious. I think it's funny because it's so obvious. At the same time, I guess it's a guilty pleasure sort of thing because it's there and it's not right for it to be there really most of the time. In some of the movies, the second one maybe it was working, but one of them it was really blatant when he was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
how awesome the war was,
Yeah.
and he's gonna need to
You're
get back over there with his wife with him. So
Yeah, yeah. You're so lucky you got drafted. You can
Yeah.
get away from all this hullabaloo at home and everything, and just get away from your dad being murdered, and get your mind off all this stuff and go fight in the war.
The first time I saw this movie, I saw this one out of order, and I think
Okay.
this may have been one of the, other than the original Mummy, I think this is the first one of the Karras films that I saw, and this is a better movie if seen out of order, because the atmosphere is pretty cool, but it's really hard if you know what the location was on the previous film. But the time I saw it, I think it was probably on Turner Classic Movies or AMC or something like that, and then I remember thinking I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought definitely some parts or have aged not too good, but in general, I thought it was pretty strong Mummy movie. It's probably one of the stronger than most of the other ones as far as like leaving the propaganda out and just going straight forward with some of. And there's that. They also piggybacks on what the end of the other one, like which the end of the other one's one of the best endings of the Mummy movies, where the mummy and
Yes.
the princess go into the swamp, and the princess, who is not really the princess, she's a reincarnated spirit inside of this other person, go into the swamp and then disappear in Massachusetts. Here, which is about 25 years later, in 1990 approximately, but everyone's still acting like it's 1944 for some reason.
No, it's 1990. Oh, that
Yeah.
totally explains why that guy's suit is so big on him and everything. Oh my God. That lead character comes in, he's like wearing like a zoot suit. I mean, he's just like, I'm like, what? Who dressed you, dude?
Yeah.
But it all makes sense if it's 1990 because everybody was wearing big suits back then. So
But apparently Massachusetts turned into Louisiana
right.
bio in between, in 25 years in between them.
Yeah.
So that's some reason, I'm not sure what the real reason is they put it there, even though I do like the flavor of the bayou in the Mummy. That's a cool contrast, but it's I think it's probably better than the Massachusetts setting, which is more unique. But
well, yeah. I mean, whenever you put things in a swamp, man, it just adds so much. It adds so much flavor to it, you know.
Yeah.
Even like that. I love the Dracula one. Was it Son of Dracula with Lon Chaney Jr. playing Dracula, and it's in Louisiana. It's like in
I haven't seen that one, so yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's great. It's actually.
I've got a copy of it. I haven't watched it yet though. I think I've tried to watch it one time, and I just, for some reason, when I tried to watch it, I just couldn't get into it. But we're gonna do a podcast on it, and I'm gonna make myself watch it.
That'll be one of the next sponsor franchises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the vampire. He's got a mustache. Yeah.
I'm laughing because I haven't seen it in such a long time. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be interesting me watching those movies.
Yeah.
Watching these.
But this okay, so it's the swamp, right? But it's also like Southern California swamp, you know. So it's like sagebrush. I mean, they try, man. They definitely try, but it's not like Wes Craven's Swamp Thing you know, where it's like, you know, the moss and they're actually getting attacked by mosquitoes and stuff.
They got some trees out there that look pretty swampy, and some fog, you know. It's got some pretty good atmosphere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. It's not authentic. It's not, right. You know.
It's not. Yeah. I was like, I appreciated the change from Mayberry to, you know, a swamp. You know, I like that. You know, and I liked that. I liked all the French people, you know, and like they had a culture that was like, you know, they had like this, you know, it was a real, you know, down and rough kind of culture of like these guys having to work the land and then like come in and, you know, and they drink and they sing their traditional songs. So it's getting into a little bit, you know, of just what I did enjoy about this movie. Disclaimer, I didn't really like this one as much as I liked maybe the last one and the last few. I kind of see how this was kind of running out of steam on this one.
Yeah.
There's two things I really love about this movie. And I think the rest of it is you kind of see the movie is the Mummy. You're really seeing it. You know, the problems with Mummy movies are all amplified in this one for me. That made me go like, this is obviously this. It's like I can see how it's running out of steam because they're just there's just certain parts of this movie that you're just going like, that's the problem with the damn Mummy movies. One thing is, you know, if you're going to get killed by the Mummy, you basically have to run into his outstretched hand and have him choke him. I mean, when a guy picks up a wicker chair, he runs up,
and then gets right in and right.
You gotta throw yourself into Mummies. I've seen that in 4 other movies, you know, and everything. By this time, you're going like, God, nobody has figured out how to fight the Mummy.
You're right. Well, you know, somebody does kind of figure it out in this one.
Oh, okay.
Not really to fight him. The best thing to do is to get the fuck out of his way. You know,
yeah.
If he's not trying to kill you specifically, you might as well just like step aside. You know, or you could like. It's actually a pretty hilarious scene in this.
I know what you're saying.
Like they go and the Mummy's there, like right behind this one girl putting on her coat, and she starts walking real slow back to the car. The Mummy's trying to catch her, and he can't get her. And then they get in the car, and they're like barely moving, and he's like trying to grab the car. And then he's like, "Damn!" Like, you know, he doesn't say "damn." But he like makes that like that expression of like, shit. If only I wasn't a mummy.
This would be so much easier. I mean, I already had to go down all these flights of steps, and then I had to go through the woods, and then I almost had her, and they just wander. They go, "Oh, let's pick her up, put her in the car, drive off." It was so unintentionally funny. I mean, I guess it was unintentionally funny, but that's what I'm saying. By that scene, you're going like the filmmakers are they just don't. They're like going like, this is ridiculous. What do we do with this Mummy? I mean, it's like I guess it could be suspenseful, but the way they shot, the way they shot it was just kind of like hilarious.
It was, but maybe people were. I don't know if this being the 4th in this series. If they'd been watching all of them, they probably were at that point going, really, you know.
Come on, guys.
I thought it was great though. I thought it was bad, but I thought it was great.
It's a true drive-in film right here. You know, they just need some bodies for the Mummy to eventually kill, and we can't have them die too early in the movie because we still have 45 minutes to an hour of screen time.
So they start this thing off
odd,
and I say now, I was to say this, like they started off really bizarre. Yeah, they started off with like a banger of a song.
Yeah. I had forgotten that until I rewatched. I was like, oh shit, this does start off with like a musical number.
Yeah.
It was a little off-putting at first.
The character's named Tanta Bertha or something. No, Berth, and it's funny because she's like this really goofy song. She's like she's kind of an older woman. Because you almost expect it to be like a younger woman, but she's an older woman, and there's a really awesome guy named Cajun Joe hanging out at the bar, like he's Bugs Bunny with the hat on and the gun, you know, just like leaning against the bar. He's a really, really hilarious character, but she's just singing this stupid song that's like something like "Hey you," and then everyone says like "You who," and they're in this bar drinking, and it's like "Yes you," and it's like "You who," you know. There's a dude with a freaking accordion.
But everybody knows their part. She goes,
they know their part.
And we know what's up, man. This is this is our thing. This is what we do on Saturday night.
It's like a music, a number you would find in a musical film in the beginning of a Mummy film. I had forgotten about that whole sequence until I rewatched it. And I was like, oh shit, this is the movie that has the musical number at the very beginning. Right. And I was like, I had to remember that stuff, and I kept thinking, this is still very odd.
It's friggin'. I don't know what was the thought with that. They probably found that lady, thought they like she could sing. And then it's like, just throw that in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it established the weird culture down there, you know, that it's kind of a transplant culture. You know, it's kind of a European, you know, kind of culture that's kind of like taking up residents in the swamp, you know, and so it kind of gives it a different feel than Yeah, I guess they're establishing a different kind of feel for this one. I mean, if this was
Well,
even, you know.
Well, there, you know,
yeah.
there's a scene later on where the mummy comes to the bar, and there's like that
Yeah.
really lively thing going on there too. They don't sing again, but it's like it just like damn, it looks like that sounds like fun. The mummy's kind of
Yeah.
maybe thinking he's like, man, that sounds like fun, but I got to go kill this bitch, you know? It's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, basically. That scene kind of mirrors the other scene because Cajun Joe or whatever is going like, you'll run away with me once I get this money and leave your husband, and he's like, hey, cut it out, you know, and she's like, I would never, you know, date you and everything, blah 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 blah, and then later he brings the girl.
Well, she's like
there.
married too to like a really
Right.
small dude.
You're a really small guy,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, you should have talked to me like that," you know. And then they open up the thing, and a guy brings the princess there, you know, later in the movie, and then he opens up the door and he goes like, "Come here," and she's like, what? Okay, you know, and the bartender husband is just like, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah.
just going like, dude, the bartender, he was like, look, what are you doing in my wife's bedroom?
Oh
You know,
my
I was
Yeah,
going
and he knew
like-
exactly how to get into the bedroom and everything.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Is that-
Like, yeah. This is
Bet you it wasn't hard though, because they
No.
don't even bother to lock the door. Because later
No,
on,
no.
the mummy just walks right in the door. Didn't even have to break it down or anything. Just walks
simpler
in.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Simpler
well,
times.
the mummy breaks through a lot of doors in previous films, but in this one, we just gonna leave the door open.
Yeah. Oh, he
It's
does some
easier.
breaking in. He does some breaking in later, man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. And
Try to
the
do a couple
climax.
things different. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but go
So
ahead.
yeah,
Dave.
that's it's like a. Kevin was going to say something. I think
I was
interrupted
trying to
him
get to the
at
point where we get to kind of like the overall plot of the
Oh.
film.
Oh, I mean, I wanted to talk about that scene some more. Man. That thing
Oh,
is like because I still just can't forget that scene. Now, yeah. So they're it's actually they actually do talk about the plot in the scene after all the stupid music thing, and
Right.
then they start talking about Cajun Joe, who should have been the main character in this thing, is the foreman for a swamp clearing, and they're draining the swamp. It is part of a land development project by the Southern Engineering Company. They kind of drop all that in the scene,
Yeah.
and actually the dialogue's pretty good. They don't just say it like that because the way that these characters are, it's kind of like these French like kind of characters, and they do it in a very natural like conversation way. So it's kind of cool they dropped that exposition dump, but I don't know if it really because they do it so conversationally. I'm sure how much people connect with what they're saying exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I really like. Okay, that's the few things I liked about this movie. All right, there's another thing I really liked. It was the purpose or the thing that kind of sets off the action. You know, the inciting thing of the Southern Land Development Company coming into the swamp to drain it and develop it. You know, and I heard, did they say something that they were commissioned by the U.S. government to come in and
Yeah, something like that. But it
Yeah.
seems to be they say it's like a safety thing
Mhm.
for all the residents. I'm sure that swamp's causing a lot of mosquitoes and stuff like that. So they need to drain that thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but they do say it's a safety thing for all the residents and which does bring our normal dude with the fez, the new high
Right.
priest. And the good guy and the bad guy show up together, working together, not realizing they're
Right.
well. I'm sure the bad guy knows he's on the opposite team, but
Yeah.
Wait, is this the heart?
yeah. So the next scene after the opening bar scene is they're at the swamp where they're
Yeah,
about
they're
to drain it, and there's the foreman talking to all these other workers, and we get to meet Gooby, like the black guy of the group,
Right.
which is
Right.
which he's pretty funny. I mean, what did you think about the Gooby in it, Kevin?
I saw him as like the Mantan Moreland character in Spider Baby. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
I
type.
mean, it's definitely like, but this
But
is
it's the same time
1940.
period,
It's
you know?
1944.
Yeah.
It does seem. I mean, it does seem like a stereotype. I don't. Maybe it was. I don't know. Sure if it was there at the time. They definitely. But if you think about it, all the other guys in this group are kind of stereotypes already. But he's definitely more of a goofball in a way. It almost would have. It would. I mean, it probably would have been better. I think if they had given like given him the guy actor playing Gooby, which he's a pretty funny dude. They would have given him one of the other roles and then gave one of the other Cajun guys the Goofy role, like more performing. But I mean, I thought he was funny though. But it was it's probably I think people probably look at that role and think it's stereotyping.
I think I think now they would. I think back then in 44 when this was made, I think that he was just simply the comic relief.
Yeah.
That's what, and we all see this nowadays. They find the I hate to say this out loud, but the fat actor that be the comic relief.
Yeah.
Right. Ugly girl who's the comic relief. Or the less, not ugly, but the less attractive girl who is.
Well, a lot of times with comic relief, you do it has to be a character. You have to look at like kind of funny in some instances to be the comic relief, especially. And it is a part that like they sometimes say that it's. I don't know that it hasn't not this part, but in general, sometimes they start to say that it's a trope that's they're definitely not going to use anymore. But I think it always comes back though. These tropes have been around and people connect with it, and it also gives actors who look a certain way and are funny something to do. Even though it may, you definitely they oftentimes try to give them something a little different than what you would expect if it's pretty well written in a way.
Or what they do is we've seen a trend now though where in those type of characters who you would normally have like the less desirable of the cast would be the comic relief. You'd have the Josh Gad, who's been comic relief in a ton of fucking movies.
Yeah.
But then you're starting to see like the reverse. You're trying to see big name actors who are playing that same role. Because you have like Tom Cruise, who did that role in Tropic Thunder, and Chris Hemsworth.
He was awesome in that too.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth in the Ghostbusters, Answer the Call movie. You see some people trying to go against that, but then you still have like Melissa McCarthy, who made a huge by being that same character in Bridesmaids. So she can now command her own starring vehicles, but she kind of got started doing that stereotype thing. So
I mean, they're very very showy roles. They're those type of roles where people are going to remember you because you're pretty much still in the scene when you're in it most of the time.
Oh yeah, I mean Melissa McCarthy stole a lot of the scenes in Bridesmaid because of her character. There's always or Timothy Haddish in was it Girls Night, Girlfriends? I can't remember what the movie's called now.
I know what you mean. But
Girls
Trip, I think.
Girls Trip. Yeah. There's too many of those movies all sound the same, which sucks. But that's what happens. We're used to it. So I think that back when this movie was made, I think it was just perfectly fine. I think only people nowadays have something that can see that there's something against it. But I think it's a very innocent portrayal in this film, and I don't think it didn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because most of these movies, especially the Universal horror monster movies, that's a trope in horror movies already that just keeps surfacing no matter what. So you get used to it. So.
Yeah, he's not treated disrespectfully or anything. It's just that's just a comic type from that period.
Yes,
it's just kind of interchangeable in a lot of different movies,
So,
and also, but I mean, you wouldn't put it in a movie now.
It definitely changed it up now.
I mean, people have changed, but I mean, even I missed the Friday the 13th Part 5 episode, but I mean, talk about just stereotypes, across the board, with like the rednecks and the, we do it every.
I hated you missed that, man.
Oh my God, I had so many notes.
That sucks.
So many notes. Anyway, but that's okay.
I had a lot to say about the rednecks, but it was like I felt like I kept talking about them. I was like, I got to stop talking about them. Because, I mean, actually, I like kind of redneck humor, but I thought it was real out of place.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, the movie's got some very cartoony depictions of humanity, right next to very kind of thoughtful depictions of mental illness. Right next to like these very cartoony people. Anyway. Yeah. The comic relief was very cartoony. And in this movie.
So this one though, so what's happening? The foreman's talking to this whole group
Mhm.
of people, like workers, and they're worried about the mummy because they know the mummy legend. They know there's a mummy buried in the swamp who
Mhm.
walk into the swamp, and they're all very superstitious and scared of the mummy. And the foreman's trying to just kind of talk them down. Well, he's not the foreman actually. The Cajun Joe's the foreman. He's the dad, not the uncle, but what is he? Superintendent, I believe, is
Mm-hmm.
what
His
his
actual
job is.
title, I can't
Yeah,
remember what his
I
actual.
think it's some, but he's the foreman's Cajun Joe, but he's the person in charge, which I think is it's the company superintendent. That's
Yeah,
what it is. Named Pat Walsh is the character's name. So, but he's basically trying to calm everybody down. He gets them
yeah.
all back on board, even though they're all about to freak out. Any little thing could freak them out and make them run off the job.
They're
Well,
very superstitious.
Yeah.
And this is what I like about this movie. Okay, the context of the mummy. Okay, so the America goes to Egypt to take the mummy, to desecrate all the beliefs and the superstitions. They say like we're gonna get this guy, we're gonna benefit financially from this, all right? And so they're going they run ripshod over sacred culture and spaces and places, and they go like, I don't care, pow pow pow, screw your religion, pow pow pow, taking this mummy, going back. Okay, all right. And then and the next two, we're seeing that mummy running crazy over in America. And now in this one here, Mummy has gone back to peace. He's with his lady in the swamp, buried again in peace. And now we've got like this indigenous culture. Now we're in America. And now monolithic interests have come into this area and say like, we are going to tell you what to do with your land. We know better than you. All right. Now I'm going to say they might have been for health things, but in my mind, I'm just going to say that was the cover story. All right. And really they wanted to drain the land so they could like build McDonald's and Walmarts and all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And everything. So they're saying like, this is exploitable land. These are exploitable people. And now it's like an American mummy. It's like history has repeated itself again. The monolithic interest, exploitation, disrespect of a culture has once again brought the mummy back. All right.
Well, I do have something to say what you just said about the mummy, because the mummy's breaking some rules too.
Oh, sure.
that mummy took that princess without her consent.
Oh.
She didn't want to be in the swamp, and he took her.
Oh, okay.
That's what made it tragic at the end of the last film.
Oh no! Well, okay.
But still, though, I mean, the mummy's been corrupted by these friggin' Americans. He's been in America so long. He's just going to take whatever he wants.
I tell you,
go
me
into
too.
the swamp with it.
Me too, mummy. Me too, mummy. I tell you, yeah. It's well, and how I remember the last one was like she was possessed, so it was kind of like he was, it was his princess.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because it was possessed, but she was also in and out of that, and I'm not sure the princess was. I'm not sure how much the princess actually likes this mummy because it's kind of dumb looking, and she's pretty hot most of the time, and it's like.
Well, yeah.
All right. The third thing I love about this movie, and I know you guys are going to get into it, but the actress playing the mummy the princess was I think it's I put the name Virginia Christian.
Yeah.
Christmas. Okay.
Yeah, Virginia Christine.
Okay, Virginia Christine in a totally different, much better movie than everybody else in this movie. All right, I thought she ran off with the movie, and I wanted to see the movie she was acting in because I was going like there was just something about her and her performance that I thought was like eons better than what everybody else was doing. But
I agree. She's the standout of it, and the actress from the previous one was actually really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't bring her back. So.
It is so weird that they didn't because maybe they were shooting these movies at this. Well, Lon Chaney's in both of them, but it's like. Yeah. But I don't understand things like that in these movies where they're shooting it like 2 months later and they can't get the actors back. It's like what happened,
Yeah.
It's like
I was a little bit miffed by that, but since this being the last film in the franchise, it's like It would have been better if it was the same actress. Don't know why they did this, but okay, I go.
It's a lot, it's a lot better movie if you don't watch it with the one before it. And we did. It's been some time since we saw the other one, so it's if you watch it because if you watch these back to back, and then that is always sucks when the actress changes. Even though the way that she does the princess in this one and the amnesia and all that, and it's funny because she's not even necessarily in it that much because she doesn't come into it until like halfway in. This movie's only an hour long. It comes in about 25 minutes or so into it.
Mhm.
But still, though, she takes the show like she stills it, just like John said there.
Yeah, I mean, she makes some of those lines. Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
So she's a very smart character.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to watch her on screen interacting with the other characters.
Yeah, and she just sells it so well.
Yeah.
She just really sells it. She sells like some really flaky situations. Like like she knows all about Egyptology, and she's like doesn't know who she is, but they put her in charge of like studying the piece. The microscope.
She knows.
She knows what the microscope.
Handle this thing.
Oh yeah, I got this. I got that. I'm going like, but for some reason, her performance sold it, and I was going like, I'm going along with this.
Yeah. And she had pretty good chemistry with like the main guy because before she was on screen with him, he didn't have that much going for him. But then their chemistry, I think her bringing it out of the actor was it was working. It's funny too when there's like there's another actress in here who has kind of a
Secretary.
it's like a secretary. She's kind of like a little mouthy. Her uncle's in charge, so she kind of pushes back and spunky a little bit. But she's pretty good character. But she's not shown that much. She's in and out. So is he up until the princess arrives. But actually, I like her pretty good too. She actually has some scenes with the princess too that are pretty good. And she's the only one she's the only one who is smart enough not to try to fight the mummy when he comes in to try to get her.
All right, I'm staying away from that hand. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. You get that if you get caught by that mummy's hand, you're screwed.
You're done. You're done, man. Absolutely.
But as long as you can walk like a couple of steps ahead of him,
right?
I mean, it's not even like It Follows is going to keep coming. That mummy's going to get discouraged after a little while,
He's got to go find some Tanis leaves and stuff. So I mean, you can get away. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So I guess getting back into after that meeting, then we meet Mr. High Priest, who's acting like he's just an Egyptologist or whatever there, which the only movie he's always a villain in these Universal ones, and he was a villain in the first Hammer one. In the second Hammer film, they did something interesting with that character because you're expecting him to be a villain again, and he ended up not being. He's not really good, but he ends up kind of being good in that one. It was unexpected.
Oh,
about
cool.
time they didn't do the same thing for the 20th time. So,
right.
but this time they do it again, and that's probably that character's definitely like way overused in these mummy movies.
Oh yeah,
I think they when they were being made, they needed that villain who's like they had the high priest, and they just ran with it for all the films. Someone has to control the mummy somehow.
Yeah,
and have the high priest, and it's just descended with each subsequent person who dies in each film.
Yeah, I don't know how I necessarily hate it because it kind of almost has to be there, but it would have been cool had they flipped it on this one and made him a good guy and made the other guy a bad guy. That would have been a cool change. But they have a letter of introduction from the Scripps Museum that they show to the foreman, and they're there to get the mummy once they drain the swamp, if it's actually there, which they're pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
And that's when things start to get a little weird. That's when there's a dead worker found with a knife in his back. and then Gooby comes in there, and he's like tells them, and they're like, "Go get Cajun Joe." And then Cajun Joe comes and checks out everything, and he's like, "Yeah, this guy's dead. He's got a knife in his back."
Yep, that's the problem right there.
It's like Gooby's panicking. And Gooby kind of gets everybody panicking. He's like, "The devil's on the loose. Maybe somebody He's like, maybe soon we'll all be killed. He just yells that out. Like
Yeah.
Gooby, just calm down a little bit. We need may
You
want to
don't
like
understand, man. We're hanging on by a thread here, right? You know, you
the
start
way
saying
you
that.
describe Gooby Dave is fucking hilarious because I didn't even think about it that way until you started saying it. Oh Jesus!
It's like everyone else is scared shitless, and
Yeah.
he's like the only one actually yelling it out. It's like maybe we ought to, yeah, maybe we ought to pull back on this. Everybody's going to die. And I think,
Oh, they remember the last time the movie was here 25 years ago.
Yeah.
They all were little kids or some shit.
yeah,
They remember how the mummy, destroyed their town and killed people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The mummy is always on top of everybody's mind in these movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's always like the first go-to cause of any crime or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the mummy again.
And it's weird for this one because it's like 25 years later. I was like,
Right.
25 years, I would have forgotten that damn body
Yeah.
in the swamp.
I don't know if you. Yeah, well, they've been talking about this for 25 years. It's like this stuff of legends. You know, they're like they sit around the bar drinking all night, talking about how the mummy's in the swamp and don't go near the swamp. You know,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
it's going to
Right.
come out and get you.
Oh, Jesus.
That's but yeah, but then it shows the high priest guy's name, Dr. Zamdab,
Zardale.
Zamdub, or
I can't remember.
it says Zan. Here's how it's spelled: Zandaa. So I think it's Aab. So it's Zandab. His first name's Ilzor. Dr. Ilzor Zandab, and he's acting like he's a good guy. None of us are fooled. He goes and gets on a damn boat in the swamp, and he pedals to like find his like cohort. This kind of cutthroat dude named Ragheb or something.
Don't use that thing.
Ragheb, and the Ragheb's the guy that
Raghib.
killed. Raghib, and he's the dude that killed the guy with a knife in his back, and he also says they found this. Well, they always find the coolest places to have their hideout, but he's found these ruins, this old church or whatever, and he's like he's got all the stuff up there. He's got all the stuff up there, and then Zendab's like, "How did you get everything up there? There's no way you could have done that by yourself." He's like, "You had to have people help you, and I told you not to tell anybody." He's like, "You don't have to worry about them. They'll never find those bodies." You know?
Yeah. That guy's serious. He's got a great look. That guy. He's got like with this very structured face and look great bad guy. Kind of look. I saw him in another movie called The Flesh Eaters.
Oh yeah, is that pretty good?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's got like a kaiju at the end of it. It's a real low budget movie from the 50s. And you're kind of like, it's kind of got slug monsters in it, like little parasites. And then at the end,
how old is it?
This is like 1955 or something like that. It's really good. It's got a funky feel to it. Very like a comic book writer wrote it, and threw a lot of imagination into it. But at the end, you're not expecting like this big giant monster to come out of the water, and like you're going like, "Hey man, this movie's going for it." All right,
so there goes the budget.
Save the
budget for the last like 5 minutes.
yeah, exactly. Well, he's in it. He plays like an evil Russian. It has to do with like nuclear power or whatever, nuclear radiation and stuff, and he's like the evil Russian in it. It's pretty good.
So they go into these ruins, and this is about 13 minutes in, and then we see the mummy on screen for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They open up the sarcophagus. They've got it in there. It looks pretty cool. It's a pretty good set, really. And then the mummy's here, and now we got new Tanna-Leaf rules. Here are the new ones. So,
Okay.
So,
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, they kind of changed a little bit. This one is 3 leaves, keep the heart beating once every night during the cycle of the full moon. Okay, I guess that's during the day or whatever. But then he says 9 leaves each night to give life and movement. So it kind of, I'm sure he said night twice. I feel like that was supposed to be day, because you give him 3 leaves to get him started, and then you give him 9 more.
Are you supposed to take it with food, or can you do it on an empty stomach?
Well, I'm assuming they don't give them any food because they just have like they actually have a pretty good setup this time. They have a pretty cool looking lamp that they can burn them in, but they don't have that many Tana leaves. It doesn't look like they got a box that's a lot smaller than it has been in the previous film. So
It's being
here they
given
are having to give
smaller and
him like
Yeah,
so,
they're running out. Yeah,
yeah, they got it's
starting
like
to-
12 leaves a night for every time the moon is full. So it's a maybe three times a month. So I mean they don't gonna be able to keep this mummy alive for that much longer, you know.
and now you can just go to the dispensary and just pick it up, and
Yeah.
it used to be a lot harder.
But one thing
The
I
mummy's
did,
got
yeah,
a card. The mummy's got a card, so
Yeah.
you can just go.
one thing I forgot to mention, which is actually like important to get us from A to B here, that while they found the worker dead, but they also found like a hole in the ground in the
Yes.
swamp where the mummy came out of. So the
Perfect
mummy's
mummy
yeah,
shape.
yeah, the mummy
Perfect
shape,
mummy
yeah,
shape.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's very
Yeah.
it's like very smooth too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know that was probably a pretty, you know, if you think about that location and the way it looks, that was probably a pretty big deal to make that
Mm.
set like that, you know, because it
Yeah,
does look
dress it
look
up.
fairly legit. But
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like a crime scene like marker. With a
Yeah,
bunch
that's
of-
what it looks like.
Yeah,
Except for they
yeah.
dug a body out.
Yeah.
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 So now they got, and then they go into the flashback that we've seen for the
Yeah.
third time
Yeah.
or the
Yeah, here
fourth
we go
time,
again.
maybe. Yeah, we see the flashback again, and then yeah. I guess they have to do that in every one of them because otherwise everybody forgets, you know.
Yeah, that
And
well,
the
that's
movie,
what- even though it was only 6 months
Right.
later.
Yeah,
right.
But we kind of get that sense that with each of these films, they kind of like we see the Tana Leaves rules redone each film. The flashback in some form or another is in each one of the films,
Mhm.
just to kind of, I guess, give reference to the whole mummy legend and all that type of stuff. So I mean, it's fine. I mean, this isn't like Dracula. Dracula, you probably get away with not having to explain his entire backstory for the previous films, but it's a mummy in the bayou.
yeah.
Right.
And it's kind of funny that this the high priestess tells this cutthroat guy the story. You know, and the dude's like,
He's
yeah,
just standing
okay.
there.
Yeah, he's like, I just
Oh.
want to kill somebody, but
Ooh.
okay, mummies, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Less
but then-
yappy, more
yeah.
stabby.
Yeah.
And then they give him the fluid. They give the mummy the fluid. It wakes him up, and that's when surprisingly the caretaker of this rundown monastery pops
Oh.
in, and he's just like, yeah, what's going on here? We can't have this going on. All this satanic stuff you have going around in this it's a church, and he's not to mention. I was downstairs and I found 2 dead bodies. We gotta go get the police. I'm not sure who could have done that, you know?
Yeah. Was that the ones that the guy killed earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah,
boy,
They're in the
the way
basement.
The
They're
guy
in the
found it like instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
the guy just went and find the bodies. Boy, he found it. The guy just stumbled by. This guy here, a terrible job caretaking that place. I mean, the place is a dump. I
Yeah.
mean, what does he do? I mean, easy job, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's and then he's just the fact that he doesn't put it together that they're the ones
Right.
that killed the people in the basement.
That is, yeah.
He's like, come on, guys, we got to go get the cops. You know, put all this devil work
Right.
stuff
Come on.
away. You know,
Right. Put away your knives and your symbols, and there's a mummy there. I think that. Oh, is that a mummy? Anyway, you guys, let's go. Come on. Yeah, that's that's what I wrote somewhere around here. One of my notes was like, "Oh, is that a mummy?" Anyway, all right. So
yeah. But then the mummy comes, grabs him, and this is one where it makes sense a little bit more because the guy's not expecting the mummy to be there. Mummy kind of catches him off guard, snags him by the neck. It cuts to the camera actually tilts up and pans and tilts up at the same time, and you see a shadow on the wall. You see the
Yeah.
mummy kill the guy. That's a pretty cool effect. It's a pretty cool shadow effect.
Yeah.
And then we get into the next morning at the swamp. That's when Princess Naka comes out of the swamp. It's a really cool scene.
I
Yes.
love it. I
Yeah,
love this
yeah,
scene.
Yeah.
It's interesting that that's how they chose to do it. She's more or less went from being a mummified corpse to being a young woman after she takes a bath in the water.
Yeah.
Right.
But she was
Perfect
yeah,
here.
when she first comes out though, it's like she's got dirt all over and
Yes.
it looks just like a mummy, and it looks really creepy looking, and she's in this swamp, and it's one of the better swamp scenes too. because the way that it looks you see the fog and stuff. And
Yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah, and then like the sun is. I've seen this movie now 3 times. I've seen this movie more than movies that I really love, But now I've seen like the sun, and she's like,
Yeah.
the feeling the sun for the first time. She's been in under the water for like 20 years, I mean, and
5 years. It's been up
25
there.
years. It's
Got
1990.
some wrinkled skin, but it
Yeah.
actually did really good job. It actually retained the moisture in her skin, and it did better than like some beauty products, because
Oh yeah.
it preserved her.
Yeah.
The
Well-
mummy was already the mummy before ever going into this swamp, but she was not. Well, she turned into an ugly mummy at the end
Yeah,
of
she
the
did.
other one.
She turned into a
We also,
ugly
but she was also a completely different actress, anyways.
Yeah. She turned into a different actress.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they needed eye candy for this one, so they could pry her in. Okay, so she's definitely eye candy. And she walks out of the swamp all wrinkled up like an old hag, but then she takes the little bath.
Calgon, take me away, right?
Takes it away, and she's this beautiful woman that
Right.
steps out, and then
Right.
we get to look at her for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And like kind of modern, but yeah, she just comes out of it, but her hair's done. I mean, she's just like put together, just right out of the salon kind of look, It's a hell of a bath she took.
Yeah.
5 year mud bath.
Yeah, apparently from that actress she was much older, probably in the 90s. She was like in some kind of coffee commercial that was on TV all the time.
Yeah, I don't remember. I got to look it up on
Yeah.
YouTube, but
Actually,
it was a bit,
yeah. Well, I saw, like I was telling earlier, I should watch this today with Christopher Lee from the Sci-Fi Channel from the 90s, introducing the whole movie, and he does talk about it, and he cuts to a clip of her in the coffee commercial. I didn't recognize the coffee commercial, but she looked a lot different. You wouldn't recognize
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
I looked her up because I was going like, who is this? I've never seen her before, and she's killing it, and I think she did like a westerns, I mean, that's what everybody did. I think she was on a western TV show for probably like 30 years, something like Gunsmoke or something like that, but
no, she was great in this. It's
Yes.
too bad, like, someone like that wasn't found in a better way, so it could have been more mainstream. Here we were, World War II was going on, so things were definitely not. People weren't necessarily looking for, the next big thing, and it didn't seem like in many of the actresses from any of these were even given like that much thought later on. It's like they're even this instance where they recast the actress in between them, maybe to avoid having to pay sequel rights. I don't know. It's
Right.
it's
right. I don't know.
But Christopher Lee also said in that same thing that she was paid less than anybody else in the movie.
Yeah.
It was like, I think she was paid about, he said $500, something like that, for the movie. Like Lon Chaney was paid the most at $8,000. Very, very low budget. Even for then, though, that for that time, that was like not that much. But still, though, I mean, but
yeah, I think she killed it in the movie. I think she was probably like very young, very inexperienced, but I think I read like she was married to an acting teacher or something like that, and so I'm going like, yeah, man, she was studied. I mean, I don't know, but I think she has a kind of a natural charisma in the movie, I mean, that I think really stood out, I was surprised that she hadn't done. I mean, she worked definitely steady her entire life.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's it's like you may. It may be better for a person not to get huge because it can be really fun to act, but sometimes when you get to the point when you've got like too much focus on you, too much attention, too many people recognize you, you lose your private life. You can't really go out without people recognizing you or aggravating the stew out of you. Sort of thing.
You become like one thing or something like that, or it's like if you make it big on one thing, nobody wants to see you do anything else, and so then you're limited because Pauly Shore never did, Hamlet, He may have killed it, but nobody wants to see Pauly Shore's Hamlet.
That's the person you come up with is Pauly Shore.
There we go. Well, I'm just saying Pauly Shore was only Pauly Shore,
I don't want to necessarily like say that much bad stuff about Pauly Shore as I like his persona.
Sure.
But but yeah, he's definitely doesn't seem like he has that much range. But at the same time, he does have a certain charisma that really like sticks out. But I don't I wouldn't mind seeing him in more stuff. I mean, especially
Sure.
he does have that character actor sort of thing going on.
Well, yeah,
But
yeah. I'm saying he probably could. It's kind of like Paul Rubens. He's just known as Pee Wee Herman, but when you saw him in other roles, you go like, dude, he's good. I
yeah,
mean, you see
yeah,
like James Kirk, Shatner, you
Yeah,
know, or like any of these like superhero kind of people, do we get so you get so big on that, and then no. It's like when Steve Martin used to start doing dramas. You're going
yeah.
like, do I really want to see Steve Martin be serious and cry?
yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah.
I think there's a lot to be said for any actor who does that, who can.
Hmm.
I can understand where it, and actors who star in these type of horror films want to gravitate towards or graduate to
Hmm.
much more prestige stuff, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Some
yeah,
people
yeah,
can have that innate talent right within them, and they bring that charisma straight out. Others, they have to work up to that.
yeah.
Uh,
I think
yeah,
too there was a stigma about actresses who acted in horror movies, even though they didn't have much of a choice. The studio would assign them the role
yeah,
for the most part, but I think there was something about it that it was kind of looked down on and not taken serious,
yeah.
especially during this time period.
Sure,
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, Boris Karloff for years tried to do more serious roles, but he got pigeonholed just like Bela Lugosi and Vincent Price and the rest of them in doing
Yeah.
horror films. Some people embrace it, other
Hmm.
people don't,
Yeah.
Yeah,
or don't want to.
yeah,
Uh,
but
so
yeah, it's me. I'm seeing it as that's freaking cool being in a horror movie, but it's
Yeah.
but somebody who doesn't even want to be in the horror movie, and there are kind of grueling shoots in a way because you have to do very physical
yeah,
stuff for the films almost always because there's always crazy stuff going on, like having to come out of the swamp and
Yeah.
and then get attacked by the mummy and thrown around and but
Yeah.
especially
Absolutely.
for a woman, a lot of times they are the ones who are more likely to get hurt
yeah,
because they're the ones that are having to go through most of the stunt stuff and thrown,
or manhandled or picked up and
yeah,
carried around and all that. You don't see
yeah,
so the mummy carrying around any men in these movies.
yeah. Well, that mummy would be in bad shape if he had to do that. So.
The mummy
But
just
that's
takes
so
people
yeah,
takes men by their throats and strangle them by their throats, pretty much. Is
Right.
what we've been discussing. That's the modus operandi with the mummy. Just
Yeah.
trying not to get so
yeah.
close
But
to
he's got a hand though.
yeah.
That hand that damn clamps on you. It's just a clamp, and then it's
Yes.
like over.
And,
You
and,
you,
and
you
you,
don't have
yeah.
much longer after that.
And you can actually believe like Lon Chaney would probably be able to kill you barehanded. He's such a big guy. He's probably had a couple of drinks, so he might be angry, and everything. So you can
Yeah,
sort of believe it. But these movies having the same kind of scenes over and over, it is like comfort food. It's like you kind of want to see somebody run into the mummy's hand and
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's kind of the formula. You know what you're getting into with these
Yeah.
sequels, and it
yeah.
just feels nice. It
Well, so
feels
yeah.
nice.
It's some scenes it actually works, and some scenes it doesn't.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there are definitely some times where it works fine. Like the one you talked about with the chair, that's probably
yeah.
definitely the one where that guy. What are you doing with a damn
Right,
chair?
dude.
Who
It's like,
throws a chair like that?
yeah,
It's
yeah. He runs up with it and like runs it. I'm going like,
yeah,
hey, it's like this little wicker chair. I'm going like, when it happened, I said in the war between Mummy and Wicker, Mummy will be victorious. But yeah, yeah. But and
so
also that whole scene though, but also at that ruin, you have like the endless staircase again.
Yes.
So I'm like going like, okay, cool. I'm back in a Mummy movie. You got my
Yeah,
endless
yeah.
staircase. I got the evil Egyptian guy who wants to bring the mummy up for some reason. You got the bland lead character, the male character. This one here, find a decent fitting suit.
Well,
Anyway,
it is
but
1990, so
it is the 1990s.
Yeah.
It is the 1990s again.
it's
Right.
but then back in the swamp when she's gotten herself clean. Unfortunately, she's still got all her clothes on. She probably but she
Yeah. Oh, she would have been a
1924.
wreck.
Yeah.
Had she really been in the swamp for 30 years? I mean, the wet. I mean, she was just coming. It would have been so gory had they actually done something more realistic. And it would have been like Tar Man coming out, you know? It would have been crazy.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, wrong
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of movie.
yeah.
But
then
yeah,
that's when
I agree.
Cajun Joe, who's
Go
but
ahead.
Cajun Joe's hanging out in the woods and he finds her first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Cajun Joe, man, he finds her in the woods. Right? He brings her back to his favorite place, which is Tanta Berthe's Cafe.
Yep.
And then we talked about this scene a little bit already, but he knows how to get into Tanta's bedroom, brings her in there, and then goes to get Tanta. And then when she comes in there to check on her, the mummy creeps in, and this is the one that makes more sense as far as the death, though, because Tanta's got her back to him, to the mummy. He comes in the door right behind her,
Mhm.
and then she turns around and she doesn't really have, well, she doesn't actually turn around. The girl sees her. The princess sees the mummy, runs away, and then she tries to protect her from the mummy, thinking that she's gonna like push the mummy out of the way, and the mummy's like, "I'm just gonna kill you."
Yeah.
You know, you don't like get in my way and try to push me. Yeah, just a
Right.
clamp. And then something even more hilarious happens though at that point. So the door's open behind the mummy. He's killing the other woman. The princess goes. She could go this one way, but then she goes, "Oh, wait a minute! The door's open behind the mummy." So she runs out that door and closes it. The mummy gets finished killing Tanta, and he turns around, and it's almost like a Scooby Doo moment. He's like, "Huh?" You know, because he's like, "Where did she go?" And then he turns around and sees the doors closed. He's like, I see what happened now." You know?
There's little asides and humors in this one that just wasn't present in some of the other films. But I think that by this time, this is a full-on drive-in type movie, and so I think a lot of what we're seeing here is made for that type of audience. To be honest with
Yeah.
But that-
I don't
yeah,
know.
that-
I
that-
think
yeah.
it's unintentional. I think it's
You
you,
think
you
unintentional.
think it's unintentional?
I'm
I
kind
think
of
they were in
thinking,
a hurry. I think they were in a hurry.
I mean, it's like that. It's the dude. The mummy's in this one more than normally too, but he
Yeah.
does get to do these expressions in a way more than the other ones, and his makeup's better than the second one. I think he had good makeup after the third one, but he gets to express himself a lot more, and he makes more shrugs and things like that. It's just like the boom. Where does she go? And then turns around, sees the door. He's like, without making any noise, but just doing that with gestures. And it's goofy, but it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were back to the rubber mask again in this one, but I think it was so. Unfortunately, it wasn't like a makeup job, but I mean, he did pretty good with it. You do see like his frustration and his body movement. He did do something in this one. He earned his check, his $8,000. I want to go back though to one thing that I thought was hilarious when they first in the crypt and he's out and they go like, "Go forth, Karis, and kill anyone who's in your way," and then so he turns and that severe looking guy is right behind him. And he just kind of goes, "Oh, excuse me." It's like, "Oh, is he going to kill him?"
Yeah.
This guy's totally in your way, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Not literally. Not
Yeah,
literally.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Right.
You better
And
move.
right after, I didn't even think that, but you're right. That's
I didn't think about that.
that's such a no, they didn't do that on purpose, but that's such a great thing that he's kill anybody in your way and turns around that
guy's
one
just
dude's
standing
in his
there.
way. Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
So that goes to go into the woods after he's killed Tanta Bertha, and the princess is running through the woods. The mummy's chasing her at the mummy pace, which is Michael Myers pace from later, which may be a little slower than that. But then she is overcome. Now she doesn't know who she is at this point. She has some kind of like temporary amnesia, but she also has two souls in her.
Yeah.
I think, or two minds, or she has Ananka and the woman that she was before that, maybe.
Yeah.
We don't, or maybe just an amnesia patient who's not really sure who she is. But she comes overcome by that and faints real dramatically onto the ground. But I don't know. I mean, I think it kind of. I mean, it's goofy when that happens. A lot of if someone gets scared and they faint like that, it's hilarious. But here, it makes a little more sense because it's not like she got scared. It's like she became overwhelmed with everything going on, and it was just
Yeah.
maybe something from being brought back to life after 25 years. She
She's
passed
had a
out.
really hard
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
And if it's truly
very,
the spirit of Ananka, she's been kind of out of it for several thousands of years, guys.
yeah. So
absolutely.
I cut him some slack with that.
Right.
But she does faint right in the middle of the road, which is hard to tell because it's in black and white and the road's dirt. So
We're leading up to the best part of the movie
Yeah, yeah.
here. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
so that's I'll let you tell. We talked about it a little bit already, but I think you got your
All
I
right.
think you got your-
Yeah. Okay. So she passes out in the middle of the road. Okay. So this is all shot. It looks like basically like on a pair of sticks, and they're just kind of like moving it around. Yeah. Anyway, so our heroes come up, bad suit guy and his secretary, I think, or his new girlfriend. They pull
she's
up.
secretary. She's definitely the secretary.
And so,
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
and so, yeah, and so, like, what luck? I mean, he doesn't know, but what luck? He's an Egyptologist, and like here on the lane of the side of the road is the reincarnated body of like Princess Anaka. I mean, what a find! I mean, he doesn't know this, at the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Real funny though about that though. It's been he probably he hasn't been on screen in a long time. Even though in this movie's only an hour long, so 10 minutes of this movie is equal to like 20 or 30 minutes of a different movie. But
Yes.
but he hadn't seen him in a while. It's been at least 10 or 15 minutes. So.
Yeah, definitely. This guy is a minor character leading role, It's like, But anyway, so this guy. Okay, and not only does he find Anaka, he doesn't know it. But I mean, had this guy just opened his eyes, he would have seen the mummy coming out of the woods. I mean, this is the most unlucky Egyptologist ever, and everything. So anyway, okay, so that's not the funny part.
That mummy would have killed his ass.
Oh my God, man! But no, he would have just like he could have just stayed. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so famous. This is the find of a reincarnated. Holy cow! Anyway, okay, so this guy. All right, so that's not the funny part. The funny part is the mummy is he's coming out of the woods. All right, they've got to walk over. So like, oh my gosh, here's a girl. They've got to look down. Is she alive? Oh, she's alive. Okay, coming down. And meanwhile, in the background, the mummy's coming out of the woods. He's like, okay.
I got a detail for that though. You missed over. So the Betty has a coat on.
Yes.
She gets out of the car. She takes her coat off. She puts it around Anaka under her head.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. No.
I didn't want you to leave that part
They're
out.
really letting this scene breathe. Okay. It's really, they're giving it the space to really put, and they're very so. But the mummy is just he's coming out of the woods. He's finally getting his Anaka. She's right there. And he's just so old and decrepit that he just can't get there. And like they're completely oblivious that the mummy's right there. He's not going or anything like that. He's just like oh God, this is so hard. And so they put her up, they pick her up, they leisurely walk over to the car, get her all put in there, and leisurely puts her coat on behind her.
Well, she leaves the coat on the ground, and she's like, "Oh shit, I left my coat. I better go get it."
Better go get it. Walks over, doesn't see the mummy in the middle of the road. I mean, so the actors have to sell that, and everything. They do pretty good. They do good selling it. I mean, because this guy is like the mummy is right there, and like they get in and with absolutely no effort, no suspense, no sense of ever being in any danger. They completely escape the mummy, and the mummy's just standing there like, oh my God, now I've got to go all the way back to that crypt. I got to go up all those stairs, and like this is so. I'm so done with this. I'm so.
Yeah.
Why can't they just go do this? Why they got to send me who can barely move?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, and he just wants his princess back that he stole to begin with, but it's at this point it's kind of his princess.
Well, so that's the interesting thing about this film is that he has a goal. It's just to get his princess back.
Yeah,
like he's not trying to do anything else. He's not really being used to kill anyone else. He really just wants his Girl, who
Right.
doesn't want their girlfriend back?
Absolutely. I'm usually on the mummy's side. You know, he shouldn't be killing people, but I'm usually on the Egyptians and the mummy's side on these movies. You know.
I will say it is a good thing that the high priest guy does not fall in love with the girl
Yes.
this time.
Right.
Because at least they didn't do that again for like it would have been
Yeah.
the fourth time. They do it 3 times in a row, and every time it's ridiculous. And
It
Yeah.
gets more ridiculous.
yeah.
Because these guys have dedicated their entire lives, and then the second they see a hot chick, they're like, oh, "Screw that! Screw the priesthood!"
Screw the mummy. Screw the mummy. I'm just gonna steal the girl that the mummy's attracted
Yeah.
to.
That's right. That's right.
They said they wanted to become the mummy all of a sudden. They're like,
Oh, yeah, they
we're
wanted
going
to
to
be-
live forever, and
Right.
I got this hot chick, and we're going to live together forever. And
Forever.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
they even have a conversation first. He just looks
Yeah, I
hot,
know.
so it's
Get
like-
to know him. Can you go and sit at the Waffle House for an hour and actually maintain a conversation first? Try that. Then take the can of leaves. Then live forever and what? Domestic bliss, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Hang out in the tomb.
Yeah,
But yeah. I mean, there was no girl tied to the altar at the end of this one. Which it is part of the iconography of the series, but it's fine that they left it out of this one. It's okay.
yeah. I was a little bit of a relief they left it out,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, they did kind of miss something that I'm sure the audiences were like, "Damn, we were really hoping they would do that again."
I know, right? I know. Somebody needs to get tied down to the slab, man. Come on.
So then after that, like it's back at the Tanta Berthe's cafe, and Cajun Joe and this doctor standing over her body, and about 20 other dudes are in the room, and find out that she's dead, and it's a heartbreaking moment for Cajun Joe, who's been leaning against the bar for like years, looking like Bugs Bunny. So it's
Waiting for her to come around.
yeah. But like you said, it's pretty strongly implied that he's been hitting it,
But yeah, it's like there's like the nebbish husband who's just like, oh, yeah.
I mean, especially
Maybe.
since he knows where her bedroom is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not surprising that he comes out of it.
Yeah, it's not the husband's like that's totally I'm just
He's
gonna look
like,
the other way.
yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
well,
Cook.
he's like, yeah, it's fine. He probably did a better job than I would have anyway. So
Yeah, Cajun Joe. I can't blame her. It's Cajun Joe.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
yeah. So then this is like the microscope scene where we start to see more on
Oh, yeah.
after that. They bring a doctor in there, Dr. Cooper, and we
Yeah.
get to see her acting and her charisma, and it
Yeah.
kind of like she brings something out of the actor that with the big clothes that
Yeah.
kind of between, and even the other woman, the other actress, she
Yeah.
brings some out of both of them.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I like the fact that Ananka has the amnesia, and then to keep her mind busy, what's his face? Harley gives her something to do, and so
just checking out like the mummy's wrappings to see if there's any
so she
beetles
automatically
in there or
gets
something.
science. I'm
Yeah.
going to start doing
Yeah.
some science and getting it's cool. It's different.
Yeah.
It's very different from previous mummy movies.
Yeah.
But it gives her something to do, and then of course we get a lot of the information about what all the wrappings are, and actually we get the hints of who she really is by what she says without realizing she knows all this information. And so I thought that was a nice touch among some of the other ludicrous things in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
the Egyptologist kind of go like, "Wow, you sure do know a lot about Egypt"?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Something-
Then after that, when it's like another night, and the high priest sends the mummy back out again to try to get Ananka. So and then that's when she comes into the doctor's tent,
Yep.
and the chair scene happens. So
Yeah.
which the doctor gets some pretty good scenes. They give him some stuff. It's like a 5 minute, maybe 10 minute with a doctor, and seems like 30 minutes, but it's
Yeah.
but he gets some stuff, and he's it's pretty good stuff with him, and he tries to protect her from the mummy like Tanta Berthe did, and
Yep.
tries to take that
In
wicker
that place.
chair, and takes the wicker chair, and instead of just like sitting on one end of the chair, he throws his whole body into it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's like so that it's like these people in all these mummy movies, they just completely spaz out when it comes time to actually, defend themselves on the mummy, It's like
The mummy's the most dangerous of all the monsters, more so than Dracula and the Wolfman and the creature from the Black Lagoon. The mummy, who's slow in wrappings and has a very powerful hand, is more dangerous than all of them.
Oh, none of these people. I mean, these people like rolled over in 5 seconds on the mummy and everything. Come on, I mean, going up against Frankenstein or like the Wolfman. Oh my gosh, these people would have been slaughtered. I mean,
but you got
the worst.
That hand is actually kind of like not a hermit crab, like a turtle, like a snapping turtle.
Yeah.
If that thing clamps onto you, it's not coming off.
That's right. That's right. Like a mongoose. Yeah, just
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, see a really gory version of that,
yeah. I mean, it could be though. Even if you like just pop that neck open, you pop the whole neck, and all this blood come out of it. It's never shown that. They kind of shy away from that usually. Even in the Hammer ones where they had a little more leeway, they weren't ready to do that yet. In the Brendan
Lee Cronin, come on, baby.
There's a scene where Pat Walsh, like the superintendent over at where they're draining the swamp, he wants to have Halsey's permission removed. I think he thinks he has something to do with these deaths, like the doctor died, and he probably doesn't care that much about 10th birthday, but the doctor guy was part of his team.
Yeah.
So he's thinking he has something. Halsey's presence there is a problem. So he talks about having him removed. And at the same time, Ananka, who tries to run, she had to run again. They do a search party to try to find her out in the woods, and that's what Cajun Joe finds her. And then he has so Cajun Joe meets his demise in the woods, trying to protect Ananka. This is the third person trying to protect her.
Yeah.
But he's
bad luck, man.
Yeah. but he's Cajun Joe, and he thinks he has it under control, unlike the guy with the chair. But really, in this movie, unlike some of the other movies, when the mummy comes after somebody, usually in the other movies, they start backing up and panicking, and then just freeze, and then the mummy's like, "Oh, cool, thanks for the neck."
Right. Yeah.
But in this one, they actually, every time somebody dies, they're physically trying to fight the mummy and stop him from getting Ananka.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
at least
pretty cool.
At least there's that,
cool.
So there's none of that other,
Yeah, they're not just totally rolling over. They're trying to be.
I think they don't want to do a complete repeat of certain things in the previous films. I mean, having Ananka resurrected and her character being in most of the film is already something different than the other films, right there. So
the occasion Joe does have a gun, so the mummy, he thinks he has the upper hand. He starts shooting the mummy, but that has no effect on him whatsoever. And thinking that the gun's eventually going to work, he doesn't try to run or anything. He's not going to run anyway. He's going to stand his ground. It's Cajun Joe.
Cajun Joe, man.
And it's surprising he just wasn't expecting to get killed by the mummy. I tell you that much. It wasn't how his day started that day. So it's
not the first time that gun's seen some action. Taking care of some problems. So
that's when Betty Walsh gets involved with Ananka, and we see a different scenario happen. Instead of her trying to fight the mummy, she just lets the mummy take her. It's like, you know what? I've known her like a day. You can have her. I'd rather not die if you don't mind.
I don't know. It's like, I get it. It's like this is the one other. I don't want her moving in on my guy. She's obviously got the more interesting personality.
Even though she's got amnesia, but
she's spooky. Interesting.
But she hides, but she makes she makes a good decision.
Yeah.
Maybe not for Ananka, but because Ananka gets snagged by the mummy and he gets to carry her through the woods and do I know?
No, I was about to say then we have Raghib comes back into play for the story.
Oh yeah. And he talks to Mrs. Walsh, and what does he say in there?
Hmm?
What was the conversation that he has with her when Rakib shows up?
I don't.
Yeah. But
I don't
he
keep
shows.
all the notes.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
got you.
specific in the
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
All that happens is Rahib tells her that he will take her to what's his face? Oh my
That's
god.
right. Yeah, that's how they kind of connected
Halsey.
some of. That's how they get her from there to the end. Yeah. But then the mummy's doing all that carrying in the woods, and I was talking about earlier with the Christopher Lee interview, and he was talking about how when he did the mummy for Hammer, he got hurt when he was carrying the character in that one. It was similar to the Naka character, and he actually hurt his back and I think his neck because of her just trying to walk upstairs and carry in like a 150-pound person or however much they weigh, trying to, and then it hurt him. But then he said that when Lon Chaney did his, they actually had some kind of rig on her, so most of her weight was he wasn't really having to hold it,
right?
Which was the smarter way of doing it. But he's
absolutely, absolutely. It's good because I think I read that little bit of trivia that you dropped earlier about how he was pretty drunk, and the actress was terrified, because he was lumbering up those stairs, probably reeked of whiskey, but she had that thing strapped to him,
that Lon Chaney had an alcohol problem, and I'm sure he was reeking, and playing this mummy and not saying anything. He probably was probably drinking more than normally.
Like, I can do this, blind drunk.
Yeah. And no, that trivia, which I am leaning towards believing, I think that's on the IMDb, that Christopher Lee in his interview, he didn't say explicitly that he was drunk, but he did talk about that incident, and he kind of used some kind of code word other than saying that he was tanked, which of course I think we all know he probably was. I'm giving it like a 99% chance that he was drunk. And the actress was like, dude, this guy, we walk down these stairs, he's going to fall and drop me, and it's not going to be good for insurance purposes.
Also keep in mind that when Christopher Lee was doing it, he was probably at the farther downhill of his career, because he had a lot of ups and downs. Thankfully, his career was resurrected, and he did a lot of amazing stuff towards the end of his career. But
that was kind of before he really. It was early. That was an early Hammer film, and it was he had done Dracula, but like they were still on the fence about having him continue the part. So that the mummy, other than the flashback for him, was a non-speaking part. So it was almost like the same thing for Lon Chaney here, but it was. I don't know. I think he was still pretty young when he did it. I think it was just.
Think so?
Yeah.
You're just doing it. How many times did he have to do it? I mean, it's like it's not like one take. They probably were being picky or whatever. Who knows? And he's been in that makeup chair. He's in that hot. Yeah.
Well, if you're doing something like you're carrying a person upstairs, like you could carry a person across the ground like that, but it's a lot different carrying something heavy upstairs and a lot of stairs than it is walking on a flat surface. Plus, he's not like necessarily the type of person who would be doing that type of work usually. He hasn't been working those muscles, so it's not
absolutely.
So apparently the rig was the way to go, and
Yeah.
So they had a stuntman do the scenes since Lon Chaney was drunk. Apparently, they had a stuntman do a lot of the scenes from what I've read. But I mean, he'd come in there and do some of it. But the Mummy, obviously, I think the scenes where they showed him walk in from the front, that was probably him. Even though he did have that mask on, so it would be pretty easy for someone else to be doing the part. Especially they had a stuntman that looked a lot like him, kind of like the Mandalorian. They just like decided to. Eventually, just Pedro was there for some of the first season, and eventually it's just like, well, why don't we just have the stuntman do all my scenes, and I'll just do the voiceover stuff,
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought he was still playing the whole role the entire time.
No, it's mostly, even in the first season, I think a lot of it's stuntman. It's it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to have him out there. Then they have to schedule him, and he's pretty busy, really. Occasionally he'll show his face, very rarely, but occasionally it will. And then he'll have to be there for that. But
oh well, shit! I thought it'd be much more fun. So the actors would rather be there, even if you don't even see them. It'd be just fun just to be there.
Yeah, but he did that whole other show, that Last of Us show, where he was the main character on that.
Yeah.
He couldn't really do both at the same
Yeah.
time and be on set for Mandalorian and that. So
Mm.
even though they killed him off in the second season immediately almost, so, but, which I'm not going to watch it because like I didn't know about that, and then
Everyone
I,
told you?
well, it's based on the game, and in between, after the first season, which I wasn't even that into it anyway. But then once I found out that his character is going to die pretty early, it dies early in the game, and I was like, yeah, I'm not watching that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Right. Well, let's get back to Lon Chaney Jr. and his performance as the Mummy, as
Right.
either drunk or not drunk.
We're into the home stretch of this thing. This is like the last like 10
But
minutes
but I do want to
they
mention
go
this.
back to the ruins. Yeah.
We didn't have our Ilsor going after Dr. Ilsor going after the lady in this film, but we do have Rahib making the moves on Betty in this film.
Oh yeah. He does have like a lecherous look at her where you're going like, oh dude, this guy's
Yeah, I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I brought that up because we were saying, oh, well, at least the main guy doesn't go after the girl in this one at the very end, but right.
I tell you though, that's a lot. It's a lot different though, because that guy's clearly he's probably I'm going to say 90% sure he's a rapist.
Yeah,
and he's also been killing people. He's a very like unscrupulous person, and he's probably and even. What the hell's the other guy's name? Even the high priest guy soon finds out he made a big mistake hiring this guy. But it was all the red flags were there already. Though.
Yeah.
You can see it the first time you see him on screen. You're like, no, that's probably better that you didn't have this guy do it.
That's pretty cool idea. I can see that being updated. It's almost like a Tarantino movie where they hire, like the Michael Madsen guy. It's like, why'd you hire this psycho? He's messing up the whole thing.
Yeah, but the dude is a psycho though. He's like instead of waiting for the high priest to get there and help him, he went ahead and hired two dudes and then killed them because it was like he didn't want to wait. He's like, I'm not waiting. No. I'd rather just kill some motherfuckers and have it done with. It's
absolutely, absolutely.
But
oh Jesus!
And Sloppy's not even a professional. He's not even a fucking professional, man. He's like he leaves the bodies laying around for the guy to find.
He said they're never going to find them. Their bones are. He said something about how they're going to be dissolved or something.
I was getting to it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Raghib, whatever his name is, he's a little dismayed when Ilsor tells him that she's supposed to be sacrificed, and so of course Raghib says, "I'm just gonna kill you then."
Yeah. And like none of us saw that coming. Not from Raghib, It's like, well, I guess we kind of didn't see it coming because we all assumed the high priest was going to like fall in love with the princess. Right. But at the same time, though, if you look at the way this Raghib guy is the whole time, it's like once he didn't need the high priest guy anymore, you knew he was just going to take him out.
Oh yeah,
and it all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense. It's obviously like a very self-destructive way to live. It's not sustainable.
Right. He is not a role model. Is what we're saying. It's like it's not a good way to live your life.
This is not going to end well for you. Once even like killing those first two guys, even the first guy he stabbed in the back. That got linked to him, that would have been it for him. But he's pretty squirrely though. He's able to get out of some stuff.
Squirrely is a good word for him. Squirrely, he is. Yeah. And of course, we have to go to the fight between Halsey and is it Horsey?
It's Halsey, Dr. James Halsey from the Scripps Museum.
So you know what? I've written that name down the wrong way the entire time, so that's why I'm saying it wrong.
We got a better name for him that John came up with, was the big suit guy.
Big suit guy.
Yeah.
So the big suit guy and Raheem have their little fight, which I actually thought was really well done. I did.
Yeah, it is a good fight.
I liked the fight. I liked the fight. The fight was well done.
Yeah.
For me, it was like a good, entertaining ending with the big fight between the two. So I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Not having Ilsor be the main villain here who gets killed. I was like, okay, it's fine. He's an unscrupulous, crazy dude anyway. It's a whole movie. I think we as the audience deserve to have a really good fight at the end. So
Yeah, that Ilzor guy was never going to be a good fight, man. He's just going to get slapped across the face one time. Yeah.
Slapped across the face and fall straight down to the ground and probably hit his head on the rock and die.
Yeah. that Rahi guy just stabs him though. He's like, dude, you're cock blocking me.
Yeah.
You're out, you know.
I've got raping to do.
Yeah,
in my way, right? Yeah.
But they do put the Naka inside of the sarcophagus, and so they're trying to turn her into a mummy.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but
well, and just so everyone stays in line, just as Rahib is about to kill the what were we calling Halsey?
The big suit guy.
Big suit guy. I was about to call him the well manicured man, but that was not the way. The big suit guy.
Big suit guy.
Karis comes out and goes after him.
Yeah.
So
Karis, aka the mummy, in case people didn't realize. We haven't been calling him Karis.
Well, we didn't been calling him Karis the entire time we talk about this franchise. And he just goes and starts tearing down walls.
I love it.
Yeah.
He's going after the bad guy. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. He did it earlier, they were nice to leave the door unlocked for him, but obviously the mummy has got some power behind it. Those pinchers rip bars out. And I like the idea of our main psychopath, being trapped in that area.
Yeah.
And the mummy having to break through and get to him. I mean, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He does, the mummy does turn on him. Well, he's killed the real guy who's been controlling the mummy, but Rabhi thinks now he's in control of the mummy, but he's not.
Mm.
Yeah, that mummy's kind of pissed off at him.
Yeah,
he's kind of ruined everything the mummy was been thinking, which isn't much. But
I've got one thing on my mind: get my girlfriend back.
Unfortunately for everyone, both he and Karis get buried underneath the walls and stuff like that, and though Karis is coming back. They may not have made more movies, but that wasn't the end. He came out of a swamp.
Yeah,
he's just under there going like that leads us to the very end, of course, because Anaka gets turned to her mummy state, and the big suit man tells Betty, "Oh well, I guess we're gonna just dig Karis and return them both to the museum." That's how they're gonna.
Hey.
Isn't that like the whole point? They just want to return them to the museum. Why can't you just say, just let him do what he's gonna do, and then we'll wait to the aftermath.
The ruin starts.
Just stand out of the way. It's the Indiana Jones thing again. Had we just done nothing, everything would have been fine.
Yeah.
But then the ruins start to crumble more, but then Gooby comes in and finds Anaka has returned to the mummy form, which is pretty jarring. And this is what happened at the end of the other one too, where he was carrying her and she turned into this mummy. So she has an ability to turn from this disheveled. What the hell? What the hell's the word?
Desiccated.
Desiccated. Man, I guess it's closer word, but decompose. She's a mummy, like a corpse.
Yeah.
And it's like she could turn from that to human, because we know that kind of. I mean, there's continuity issues between these two films, but we know that she did turn into this corpse once before, and so she could probably turn back into human form, given that case. But
give it a good bath.
It would be a completely different actress.
Yeah, right.
But
we don't know how it happened to begin with. We don't know how she turned to a human at the beginning of the film, much less why she changed back into a mummy. It's like, well, she comes out every few years like a locust, and then she goes back into hibernation.
It's like a phoenix, though. It's like the phoenix comes out every 30 years or something.
Or what is it, the cicada, right?
Cicadas,
Cicadas, yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
But then that's kind of the end, and Halsey leaves with the girl, Betty, and everything's cool. Happy ever after for them, I guess. You know, he's got his secretary and a wife at the same time. So what else can he ask for?
Hey, the guy lucked out. Yeah, I'm just going to say their on-screen chemistry did not sizzle or anything. It was just kind of like, hey, how you doing? All right. Yeah.
Well, no, because you're thinking that there might be a little sizzle between him and the Anaka,
yes,
and not him and Betty.
Anaka was definitely the better choice.
Yeah.
Anyway. But anyway, whatever. You know, they had more in common. They're both into Egyptology. They could just sit around and talk about that all day. You know, whatever.
She turns into a corpse mummy though every now and then. So I don't
know. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, every relationship has problems.
But think about
everybody's got problems. You know,
but that could be pretty bad if you're like in the middle of doing something and she suddenly turned into the corpse mummy. You know.
It's just what you're into, bud. It's whatever you're into, dude.
Yeah,
There's a chicken for every pot, all right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know. Here's the scene that was missing in this movie. I really wanted to see the guy, the blowhard uncle who was there. I think he should have been killed by the mummy just thematically. You know, for to like kind of like the guy who's invading this thing, he should have gotten the clamp. You know?
Oh, big
yeah. It's kind of surprising that he didn't. He does show up at the end with her. So, but I think they were trying to keep it. I think in a way they were trying to keep it more friendly since that's her uncle. And they didn't want to have her have to go through all that. It was like, you know, some of these other guys, like the doctor or whoever gets killed, it's like, okay, we knew him a day or two. But her uncle gets killed, and it's really going to put, even though they don't care in the other movies, something like that happens, like especially in the second one or the third. This is the third one where they don't care. Like her dad dies.
Oh yeah,
like
the nice magician.
Yeah. But maybe they were thinking a little bit more and didn't want them to have that happy ending when their uncle's dead, but
nah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if they run off at the end, but you know, it could have been a really good scene. Had this movie been made in the 70s or something, you know, they would have definitely had that scene, you know. But
the only reason in this one the mummy kills people is when they get in his way. Of course, they could have had a scene where he gets in his way, but they had an hour, and if you look at what the way the scenes are in this film, he could have gotten killed at the end, I guess, but I mean, I think for it to be satisfying, like you were saying, because he is the person who's draining in the swamp.
Invader. He's the invader. So you know, it'd have been good had it'd been at night in the swamp and they were all working, and then the mummy comes and everybody's running. He's like, "Get back to work! Get back to work! What are you doing? Pick up that shovel!" And then it's like, you! I'll show you how to deal with a mummy." Then he gets the clamp.
So what you're trying to tell us, Conco, is that your next movie
it's a remake.
A mummy movie.
It'll be a remake of this. Right. Well, I mean, you never saw what they were at the end of the series. What you never got to see is him take the 12 Tana leaves and regain his autonomy, you know, or become the ultimate evil. You know, they never went there. And I'm going like, man, you had 4 movies to do it, you know, and they just never pulled that card, you know, which is disappointing. I mean, I don't know what he would have done. Would he become just like self-autonomous, regain his control over his agency over his life, and just go like, why am I doing this? You know, why am I doing what they tell me to do? I need to just sit down and be left alone for a little bit and rethink what I'm going to do with what time I have left until I blow away.
The mummy does like push back in most of the movies once he realizes that the dude's trying to get with the
Right.
princess.
Yeah.
Right.
That never
Yeah.
sits well with him. Every time that
No.
happens, he doesn't like it. And
Yeah, once he realizes the power structure that he's serving and enslaved to is
Yeah.
just as corrupt as everything else, you know, he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, I'm just a puppet for a broken machine," you know. Which is what's good about the Mummy, man. It's just like that's what's kind of cool about the Mummy. I think you can relate to the Mummy of like you know, why do you do the things you do in service of what? And is that a noble cause? You know, I think people have to. I think Mummy is a pretty good monster for middle-aged people. You know, your bones are creaking a little bit more. You kind of have a moment to rethink things and go like, you know, what. You know, this boss I'm serving, this thing I'm chasing, you know, what am I even doing this for? You know, it's just I don't know. The middle-aged mummy. That's
Yeah.
there we go.
Well, that's
Just
interesting. You say that because the mummies are typically thousands of years old to begin with.
right.
Yeah.
Right. They're not like young hot vampires. They're just like these guys are just like, oh my gosh, I've lived, I've loved, I've lost,
And they
and
have
now I'm in
serious
the
it's cool. As cool as it looks when they have those stairs, like you think they would think about the mummy a little bit when they got a hideout.
never
You know?
do. They never do.
I mean,
They
why?
never do.
It'd be a lot better if they just had like a one floor place where he could just walk in and out of the door without
Or
having
ranch.
to climb up some damn like.
I hear from my parents all the time. I mean, we got to get out of this house with these stairs. We got to get a ranch where we can just walk.
Yeah. I mean, it's true though. You got to start thinking about that. You know, it's like, you know,
He needs to be reminded of his Egyptian temple, which is why he has the steps.
That's it. That's right. Right.
Oh, home away
Yeah.
from home.
That's right. I don't know. I need a lot of steps. I know it's hard on me, but man, I just don't feel. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they just need to get him an errand boy. I mean, I just hate that these able-bodied people are always like sending the poor guy who can barely move out to go do these things. You know, it's just like it's
yeah.
you know, you got a perfectly good sociopath who has no problem killing anything in his way already.
Yeah. But this mummy almost always bungles the shit. You know,
Oh,
it takes him
this
like
one.
3 nights to get it right, and even then,
Oh
it's
my
like he's
God.
drawn so much attention that the people are coming after him with torches. You know, so it's like,
Yeah.
I wonder how this series became so popular compared to the other ones.
For real. I mean, there's so
It
many
is,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, there's so many more mummy movies than like Dracula
Yeah.
movies. You know, it's so weird that Dracula really doesn't have very many
Yeah.
entries. You know,
They had a momentum going. They were all shot like really close to each other,
Mm.
and I don't know. I mean, they were probably like they had a formula. It was very like this one was really cheap to make. The other ones
Mhm.
probably were too, except for the first one and the second one.
yeah.
But these like the last 3 were like formula driven, and they were very very cheap to
Yeah.
make.
Yeah, which is sort of what you, as I was saying, it being kind of the same thing over and over again. You know, sure, you know, as far as like, you know, developing the story, sometimes you get like a little. I think some of the more, you know, subtext, I think is just because of the time it was made, or I don't think they were really thinking these things out that much, but just because it arose out of a certain culture and a certain time, you get subtext out of it, you know, but that's not their point, you know, but it being sort of the same movie over and over again, I mean, that's just sort of, it is just sort of comfort food, you know, you don't,
Yeah.
you know, you don't expect every time you make a chicken pot pie for it to be a completely different experience, you know, you kind of want the chicken pot pie that you know you can make and that you want, you know.
That's
And
good. That's a
so
good reference. That's actually a good metaphor for it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they do. I mean, even though they're very similar a lot of times, but they do add things to them. Like they add the Anaka character becoming
yes.
a person, and they even do it more in this one. Even you know, and then they do change it up in this one with the high priest not being like the main villain.
Yeah.
unexpectedly.
These movies are very driven by love and romance, and they're very romantic movies. Actually, they're
They're
all
drive-in movies.
yeah,
Of
but
course.
yeah, but they're all like driven by like longing, for another, and for like something pure and good, even like the priests get like sidetracked by, wanting, love, it's kind of like love is like this thing that keeps, haywiring
And it's
everything,
and it's not
I'm
even
just
love though.
yeah.
It's like that they think it's love, but it's more like an infatuation or an
Mm.
obsession. It's like it just
Obsession.
hits them. Yeah, an obsession.
Obsession. But Karis is that's a love of beyond all time,
But I don't think Anaka though is that into him
No.
ever.
No,
Maybe
I
when
don't.
they
even
were
way
maybe
back
when
in
yeah yeah
Egypt,
yeah
back when they
maybe
were
then
alive.
more
Yeah.
but I don't feel I never feel like she's like that into the mummy like in the Karis.
Oh.
No, because I think that if it's truly a reincarnation, she's been reincarnated through the years, and had lots of different experiences, whereas Karis has kept his ass in a coffin for 2,000
Yeah
years.
Yeah, they keep
yeah
his heart beating just enough.
Yeah, just
I mean that
enough.
Just enough so
Yeah.
he can't
yeah
move
yeah
on.
So that's how I see the
Oh,
difference. I said
well,
that's how I see.
that's even more heartbreaking. That makes the mummy's kind of like a simp who's just like pining over this girl who never really liked him that much, and is just like, oh, if I could just get her back and get her back into the
yeah
grave with me, would be together again. And she's just like, I got other things
yeah
to do,
yeah
I'm kind of half into you.
yeah. I really think it's like she's kind of moved on
Oh,
from him. Yeah, yeah,
that's so
yeah,
much
Yeah.
sadder.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
But,
gosh.
yeah,
But
yeah.
A
like,
This,
love
like,
story for the
but,
ages.
but yeah, maybe not. No, now you guys got me thinking about it. I don't know. But
but
like
it's
Dracula is like kind of like, isn't like that's like, a biological dependency, and like the Wolfman is like, your inner beast, people who can't control their passions,
Mhm.
or something. But the mummy is like pining. It's
yeah,
it's got a different vibe to it. Even in the Boris Karloff one, which basically they lifted for Bram Stoker's Dracula, the
yeah,
plot, is just it's got more of a a sad undertone,
Yeah.
you know. And the
yeah,
Fishman though is just like he's down to party, dude.
yeah, yeah,
He's got his bachelor pad. He's like, yeah, come
yeah, yeah.
on.
Oh.
They keep coming and messing with him though. They won't leave him alone. So it's like they just want to capture him and put him in their aquarium, and
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
more often than not, except for with I think Dracula, we keep fucking with these monsters, which is why they keep coming after our asses.
Right.
Dracula's like, I'm going to have what I want because I'm Dracula.
That's right. He's like, yeah, he's the he's the aristocracy sucking the blood out of the peasants, and everything.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Anyway.
guys, is there anything else that we missed on this film at all that you would like?
probably. But the thing's only an hour long,
Yeah.
so we probably got most of it. I would say we got like 85% of it, maybe.
I've seen this movie more times. Again, I've seen this movie more times than movies I consider in my top 10 movies.
Yeah, well, it's funny. This is the one because I did watch these all in order originally when I saw them because look I mentioned before I got the box set, the Legacy Collection, like you did, Dave, and I
Yeah.
finally was able to watch them all. I'd only really seen the first two growing up. And then I was able to finally watch all of them in order. So
Mhm.
this one, because it was the last one, it was never one that I really cared for, but it has been interesting talking about this one as we have done.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would think, like I was saying before, I saw it before the other one, so I thought it had some cool stuff. I really like the way that the mummy and Anaka come out of the swamp on different occasions, and they kind of reemerge, especially her stuff. But
Oh, yeah.
I like the mystery kind of behind that. And if you didn't see the other one, you wouldn't be as your mind wouldn't be as boggled by the fact that they just changed the location with no explanation and no reason other than they wanted to. So
That's it.
Well,
Yeah,
you probably wouldn't also assume that the woman coming out is Ananka, the mummy's long lost girlfriend that he
they
brought
talk
to the
about it
swamp.
though.
Huh?
They talk about it though, like in the pub scene.
Oh yeah, that's right. They do it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you may not be paying attention good enough to
If that's
know
the first one
that.
you saw,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But they do talk about it. I think at least once, if not twice, before it happens, because they do want the audience to put it together.
I think it's more or less like the flashback. Do they ever? I do. Do they ever mention? No, I think they do. So never
Yeah,
mind.
they don't have a real flashback to it but they do have the flashback that from the mummy and his
Hmm.
background to the original Anaka, which actually shows scenes from the second one where it has a different actor playing the mummy. That's the only one where it was
Right.
not it wasn't Lon Chaney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. I want to thank you for joining me on this conversation. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing
No,
at?
it's just like I think we've squeezed
A lot.
all the juice out of this mummy. Yeah.
Well, it is the final one. It is the final one in the original franchise, so that's okay.
Absolutely.
With-
It's the franchise killer. Yeah.
Yeah, wait. Once we get around to the '90s, we'll be able to deal with that one then.
Right,
But I do want to thank you guys for joining us on this conversation about this film, The Mummy's Curse, from 1944. What we like to do, everyone who's listening, we like to kind of go through and rate the film between 1 and 5. One being poor, 5 being amazing. But what we like to do is we like to take an object, quote, or saying from the film to attribute to our rating. Keeping that in mind, Mr. Conco, we're going to go with you first. What would you rate this film, and what object, quote, or saying would you like to attribute to your rating?
All right. All right. Well, I would have probably given it 1, but after talking about it, I realized there were probably several scenes in this I actually did enjoy. And I really like the actress playing Anaka. So I would say but I think it's the worst of them, of the sequels. So I'm going to give it 2 big suits.
It suits. Yeah.
2 big suits.
All right. What about you, Dave?
So I'm gonna use the Tana leaves
Perfect.
as the thing. So
Okay.
I'll give it 2.5. I liked it pretty good, and again, I did see it by itself, and I don't know if I would say it's the worst one. I thought it was going to be the worst one rewatching it, and I think the last time I saw it, I thought it was the worst one, but this time watching it, I was like, okay, I thought this one had some pretty good, especially the mummy fight scenes. I like the way that the people weren't other than the chair part. I like the way that they tried to fight the mummy and then get killed instead of the mummy just backing them into a corner where they could have escaped. So I thought it had good atmosphere. The swamp was a nice touch, even though it didn't match continuity.
Yeah.
And I know there's some complaints about the workers and the Cajun people being stereotypes or something, but I actually enjoyed all that stuff. I thought it made it unique, and of course what we talked about with the Anaka and the new actress, who I like the other actors too, but I thought this one was really awesome in the part too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I enjoy both actresses that played Ananka, and I think that Virginia Christine was really good in this role for this film in particular. I do think some of the other actors were a little bland for my taste, but I did like the fight scene at the end. I like the way the film ended with all that. It was a very dynamic ending. I am a little bit elevated more so than what I would have given had I not rewatched the film, because I'm like you, Dave. I would have given it, and actually you, Conkle, I would have given it like a 1.5, but I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 now. 2.5. Buried mummies in a Cajun swamp.
There you go.
I'm gonna give it that. Because for some reason, because I only seen this one time, other than for the podcast when we watched it, I always thought this was the weakest one out of all of them, so I never went back to it. But this one does have some qualities I can now appreciate and actually do like some of the qualities in this, especially for the fact that the high priestess is still not trying to get with the girl in this one, which
Yeah.
Yeah. Mix it up.
There are some elements in this film that actually are good.
Yeah.
Even though it's the last entry in the original Universal Monster series there. So
Right.
with that, I hope you all have enjoyed listening to us have a conversation about the Mummy's Curse. If you are very interested, which we hope you are, you will please check out the previous episodes on all the other entries in this franchise and be a subscriber, follower to the podcast, because we will eventually get to the 90s franchise of this as well and beyond, since they continue to make more Mummy movies. So please be a subscriber so you can never miss an episode. Also, don't forget our other podcast, Conversation in Hammer Studio Horrors, which is every first and third Friday of the month. If you are a lover of classic Hammer Studio films, you're going to love that one. We delve into those films from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It is a very enjoyable conversation. From all of us here at Something Wicked Entertainment, please have a pleasant day and just leave those mummies buried in the swamp. Keep telling you guys, it's nothing but bad things. Good day.
Man, you got to drain that swamp though.
Yeah, man. Got to put up that Walmart. Yeah.
Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production, written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers, executive producer Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.